So I'm continuing my reassembly. After I put this back on, I ended up bolting the driver, the injector driver back on. What I'm going to do now, before I put the radiator hoses on, I'm actually going to hand thread this thing back on. I cleaned out all the gunk and everything inside of here, just to make sure it's all nice and clean before I put it back in. Just kind of wipe the dirt and dust off on the outside. I like to keep everything clean.
I'm gonna do that. When you are putting everything back together, make sure you get all your bolts.
The eyeler tensioners, the tensioner and the aisle. You gotta pay attention to the, when you took it apart, the actual tensioner has a bolt that says L, as the L for the left-hand thread, and then the other one. I think these wheels might be the exact. I don't know if they're the same. They look, no, they're not. No, yeah, the eyeler has a different type of bearing than this one does. So I'm just tightening this down. These are actually idler arms and tensioner. They're 32 foot-pounds of torque. So earlier when I was saying the 4 bolts on the water pump pulley are only 15, so they're not that, they don't require that much torque. And thread tight. Switch it, reverse it for the left-hand thread tensioner. Anyway. So here's my replacement belt. It's a Bando. Here's the part number. This guy, basically, this belt's used in so many different Toyotas. A bunch of Toyotas use this, the V6 Toyota belts, but it's a very high quality OEM belt. They make a lot of the OEM stuff for all the Hondas and Toyotas and stuff. So this one's actually got the nameplate on it, and that's what I was saying about the other belt. I don't know if it just wore out over time for the last 11 years, or it just didn't come with any markings, but I didn't see any. So kind of just snake this baby in. So I finally got the belt through. It was a weird little pattern that looped between the water pump and the main crank and power, or the alternator and AC compressor, but finally got it in the right position, and I ended up, a good thing I took a picture of it before I started, but I got it in there. Now I'm trying to torque the pulley tight. So one of the things right now with tightening it, it spins, so I'm using a big screwdriver. You could use a breaker bar or something. I'm just kind of wedging it between the two of the nuts, or 2 of the bolt heads, and then just kind of hold it in place while I get the 15 foot-pound tight. So I think I'm pretty good there now. I'm gonna go ahead and work on my hose. So now I'm gonna do working the hoses. Both of these, this is the original hose. This is the OEM Lexus Toyota replacement hose. Exact same length, no need to cut, it fits perfect. What I noticed is my old one, even though it's in very good condition, nothing seems to be wrong. I can probably go another 100,000 miles on this hose. And the new one's a little bit stiffer, it's brand new rubber. So as far as build quality goes, looks like it's made by the exact same manufacturer. It's got, the OEM one's got the Toyota markings all over it. The original factory one's got similar markings. I don't know if it's from the same supplier or not, but the build and just even the mold and all that looks like it is from the same manufacturer. But anyways, or built to the same spec. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to transfer the hose clamps over. and then kind of get this put together. So the top with a little notch on the thermostat housing. So only in position. Looks good. Alright, so we're at the top hose now. So this is the OEM one that I just pulled out of here. You can tell it's got, you know, it's shorter. It's got the markings for the lineup with everything. One thing I did mention earlier was that I ordered an aftermarket one from Rock Auto, and it's not exactly, you know, it was made by, it was a Dayco brand one. It was $9. This one, at the time when I ordered this one, it was $24, $25. So I was like, screw it, I might as well get the $9 one. It's but I didn't know that it wasn't the exact same hose. It was a cut to fit hose that had this similar bend, and should have known because when I did look at it, it lists a bunch of other cars other than the IS, and you know, maybe some of these cars are a little bit longer and it doesn't, you know, need it. So what I'm about to do is basically measure this and just cut it to fit. So I finally trimmed this aftermarket hose all the way down to get it as close as possible to the OEM hose. I've test fitted a couple times, but it works now. So if I would have known, I would have just spent the extra $10 and gotten the OEM one. Alright, so I got everything. Hose is all clamped in. Everything's done. I'm going to start putting everything, all the covers back on. So first cover I need to do is this one under here that goes over. Harness or the cover on this side. Alright, so continue putting all these covers.
These things, you're gonna have to screw them in. Just push them in, I think. No? Maybe. Maybe screw them in. Yep, you do. But they were. The ones you can just push right in, but.
Kind of wraps it up right there. So after that, just put your air duct back in, covers, refill your fluids, and make sure there's nothing leaking. So I've got everything back together. I'm gonna end up filling it up with this Toyota 5050 long life antifreeze that I bought at Toyota dealer. You get, I think, 2 gallons for about $50. Most dealerships.